As the BBC turns 100 years old, the Jodie Whittaker era finally comes to a close, as well as the era of Chris Chibnall. Even though he was only showrunner for one Doctor, he was in that position for 5 years, the same as RTD. Well, on his first go, that is. Even with COVID in the way, Jodie still managed to star in 13 series. Granted, one of them was half as long as the usual, with just 6 episodes, but it still counts. Over that time, there was only one really major change, and that's the introduction of Dan Lewis to replace Ryan and Graham. He's played by yet another comedian, John Bishop. There's also the development of a romantic element to the 13th Doctor and Yasmin Khan's relationship, a development that got a lot of support in the fandom, especially among the LGBT sections of the fanbase. Personally, it's not for me, like all Doctor-companion relationships. What can I say? Space-time dating just isn't my thing, and it's not the Doctor's either. But with the stage set, let's jump right into our finale, The Power of the Doctor. Another space train, interesting. At least they have Mark 7 there to help them. So who's attacking us? Took the words right out of my mouth. Oh, it's the Cybermen, with brand new designs. One that seemed to be a bit weaker. I mean, it didn't take long to kill them, did it?
What's happening to them?
That energy, they're regenerating.
How the hell does he know what regeneration is? Luckily for them, though, the Doctor is here. I just want to take a second to appreciate the Cybermasters here, and yes, that is their official title, not Cyberlords. That would make things very confusing. Their design is absolutely beautiful. The Time Lord headdress added to the regular Cyber design works wonders. Their leader even has a cape. These Cybermen aren't just emotionless, they're emotionless in style. The Doctor lands down on the train, quickly joined by Yaz and Dan. Unfortunately, they're not alone.
We're literally safe on a space train.
Shut up, Dan!
I said, just because my jump is better than yours.
Inside the Cyber Lieutenant, I think this guy's one step below the leader. He's got the headdress, but not a cape. Anyway, he tortures the captain for more information.
I'm not afraid of the Cybermen.
We are more than Cybermen. We have evolved. We are your Cybermasters.
You may be the Cybermasters, but you didn't get what you asked for. Why even ask her if you knew all along? Back outside, Dan gets shot, so the Doctor devises a radical plan. Luckily, they had a wire to hold on to. Probably wouldn't be able to get in otherwise. While the Doctor is rambling off what he needs to do, Dan seems to have a moment of, oh my god, I nearly just died. But this doesn't distract him from his task of stopping the train. The Cybermen find the cargo and open it just as the Doctor arrives.
Whatever you came for, whatever that cargo is, you failed!
Yeah, slight feeling they haven't failed. So what's the cargo then? Oh god, it better not be the Timeless Child. That's cheating! Good for setting the stage though, I suppose. And that is what we've been waiting for, the title sequence. I know I said that the Capaldi titles were the most unique so far, but this just blows it out of the water. The time vortex almost pulsates outward to a theme I cannot commend enough. The first one with a beat drop, very 2020s. You probably noticed two things here, the obvious being Sophie Aldred and Janet Fielding are back, and that this is written by Chris Chibnall. Immediately straying away from the cold opening, we're sent to Siberia, 1916, the middle of the First World War, and home to Father Grigori. No, not that one. That one! Rasputin! Shame this only lasts 2 seconds, as our next setting is London, present day 2022, where Ace is concerned about a painting.
But this one was only restored 2 months ago.
It required a little additional work.
Oh, she is definitely keeping something secret. You can see it in her eyes. Ace is in contact with Tegan, who's in Romania for some reason.
This There's a volcanic chain where those 3 seismologists were last seen investigating a nearby earthquake.
And did you find them?
Disappeared off the face of the Earth, just like the others.
Well, that can't be a coincidence.
There's something else. When I arrived at this cabin, there was a package waiting for me. There was also a card from the doctor.
Ooh, do tell.
Cyberman.
I have a slight feeling that the Doctor didn't send you that love. After the train heist, the fam returned to Liverpool, back in time for Dan's date. But this is the last time he'll be travelling with her.
You don't have to come back for me.
This is probably the most real companion departure. Most people, after one close call, would call it a day, even with the chance of seeing the universe at any point of history. After nearly dying, Dan just says, "Yeah, I've had my fun. I'm done." Like all the gambling ads say, when the fun stops, stop. The Doctor doesn't exactly take well to this news, as him leaving is basically the same as him dying. He's still leaving her. Just at this point, after thousands of years, is there really a difference to the Doctor? Dan does have a slight problem, though. His house is gone after what happened in Flux.
Me house. Looks like I'll be keeping on my mum and dad's sofa tonight.
Seems so, mate. With the two of them outside, a Dalek is able to appear in the TARDIS uninterrupted. Luckily, it's just a hologram, though. Apparently this is the same as Rusty.
I offer you the key to the destruction of the Daleks.
Well, that's a new one.
I mean, it isn't. As I literally just said, you met Rusty ages ago. But this Dalek's reasoning is actually pretty sound.
The Dalek machine was created to ensure the survival of the Khaled race.
That's kind of true. Davros did create the Daleks to continue the Khaled race, but at the same time, after he was revived, all he cared about was the survival of the Daleks. I suppose after all this time, however, they have barely any Khaled DNA left in them, if any at all.
Who are you yelling at?
You wouldn't believe her if she told you. Back to 1916, Rasputin has made it to St. Petersburg, where there seems to be another moon in the sky, and I have a slight feeling it's to do with this guy. Meet the Spy Master, played by Sacha Dhawan, and he's manipulating history by being Rasputin, but also putting it on its correct course, as he has both the Tsar and Tsarina under his thumb, all part of his plan, I expect. This new moon...
That's no moon.
Sorry, planet in the sky, is like a Death Star made by the Cybermen. But strangely there's also another TARDIS, the Master's. But this isn't the only source of energy.
The screen's showing another energy source on the surface. The Cybermen have tethered that child into this planet.
So the child is not actually a child. Thank God it's not the Timeless Child then. Great aim, bro. Try aiming a little bit higher next time. What was the point of shooting them if you were just going to monologue, then bring in other Cybermen that can't aim as well? It honestly baffles me. To make this plot even more jam-packed, here's Kate Stewart, who's brought in Ace and Tegan to help.
So, how have you been?
Like you care.
Tegan, we discussed this.
38 years.
I'm Yaz, the only one here who doesn't really know what's going on.
We used to be you, decades back.
Oh god, it's like the new partner meets the exes. Awkward. Getting down to business, it turns out those paintings have all been taken away because they have the face of Rasputin on them.
That's not Rasputin. That's the Master.
Yes, I was getting to that.
Greetings, seismology fans. If you're craving answers to life's little mysteries, my keynote address at the International Seismology Memorial Conference is now starting at a conference hall vaguely near you.
Well, that's different. The Master has always loved waiting hundreds of years for their plan to form. I wonder if they went through university and got a degree for this one.
It's good to see you both.
Oh, you gave me an electric shock.
Sorry, my bad. I promise. I'm coming back. Ow! Oh, you are really staticky.
That was definitely intentional. The thing is, with the Master's lecture, everyone isn't full size.
Do you like my seismologist collection? I think I've got the whole set now.
God, he's sick.
Leave Earth now, Doctor, or it will be the death of you. Because, really, honestly, truly, this is the day you die.
So he's got a new plan that probably won't work, and is a bit self-aware.
Do you see what I've done? I was so clever. Because I can give her this warning. But we both know she won't leave. She can't, not now I've said that to her, and yet she knows she should, because she also knows I don't make empty threats.
And there's Unit, right on cue.
Give her a gun.
What?
Cover him. I'm going to take him in the TARDIS. Take the gun.
First time they've ever had to do that. This must be serious then.
You're not going to shoot me. Not on a TARDIS, think of the best.
Just in case you're wondering, all this I'm messing with your mind chat. I've heard worse on a Friday night in Sheffield.
Now that's a good line. Now at Unit HQ we have some great interactions.
Your dad was an idiot. Tegan Joe Fanker. How's your Auntie Vanessa? Do you keep her in a little doll's house?
Last time I saw you, you were half cat.
Man's allowed to experiment.
I love this guy, he's just hilarious. So the Daleks' coordinates are inside a volcano and are actually legit. They meet up with the Dalek from earlier and get interrupted by a squad of Daleks. Great.
I did not betray you. The traitor speaks the truth. We allowed the traitor to contact you.
So this is a genuine good Dalek then? Not a trick? Why is its casing all mashed then?
Exterminate the traitor.
Look, even the Daleks have bad aim. That first one missed entirely. So this was actually part of the Dalek's plan all along? To trap her inside of a Dalek? I must be missing something here. Back at Unit HQ, Tegan has a slight problem with her doll.
Do you know the great thing about tissue compression? It also works in reverse.
You'd think knowing what happened to her Aunt Vanessa she'd realise. But no. Now we have a Cyberman invasion on our hands, as...
That ain't just any Cyberman. It's a Russian doll.
Here we go. So not only have they infiltrated Unit, but they've...
Developed resistance to gold.
Even with that resistance, it's not like their aim gets any better. I mean, come on, they're running up a spiral staircase. How hard can it be? There's loads of you. At least Ashad is pretty awesome. Look at him go. After saving the Master, he's able to smash open a light fixture to recover his teleport device.
Such a good plan.
Yeah, you don't say. He definitely went to university to become an architect so he could build this place. Can't wait for Big Finish to make this into a box set. And now the missing link is revealed. It's not just a teleport, it's a temporal shift. The Master has managed to convince both the Daleks and the Cybermen to work with him.
We could call this the Master's Dalek Plan. Or the Cyber Dalek Master Plan. Cyber Master's Dalek Plan. I can't get it.
Not bad, to be honest, and a good reference to put in.
The day I killed the Doctor.
Yeah, not as good. Right, so let's just skip all this. What's his end goal here?
Do you remember the ultimate sanction for breaking our laws? Forced regeneration.
Well, that's new.
You don't have the technology.
I do. When I ransacked Gallifrey, I took everything. But where would you get the power? If only I had a planet built for this purpose.
Well, that's certainly... Oh my god.
Certain man in Russia long ago. He was big and strong in his eyes of flaming glow.
When I first saw this, I laughed out loud so hard. It's just so unexpected. Totally unscripted as well, at least the dance moves were. And if you didn't think this story was big enough yet, here's Vinder from Flux, who's taken a crappy time ship and crash-landed on the Cyberstar. Cyberstar, get it? Oh, never mind. But yeah, he's not here to witness this absolute travesty. With his grand plan finally complete, the Master has actually won, and become the 14th Doctor, just in time for Yaz to bring the TARDIS to him and see.
Come on, Yaz. Let's go on an adventure. Don't make me ask twice.
Well, this certainly is different. The Master, as always, is just doing this to bring down the Doctor, even though he is now the Doctor.
I'm going to make the Doctor a byword. Fear, pain, and destruction. So when people hear that name in future, they quake.
If you think I am gonna let you...
I am the Doctor now! I am the Doctor!
Mantivkill actually looks frightened here. With Unit HQ under siege, Kate Stewart is forced to lock down the building to prevent the fall of the entire world. Luckily, Ace has stashed some of her stuff to help her and Tegan out, being parachutes and...
Hope you don't mind.
Very 80s.
Thanks.
It's obvious what the jacket's for, but what about the parachutes?
Out here! What are you doing?
Oh, good idea. But not one that Tegan wants to follow, since she believes it's her mess, so she has to solve it. Good luck. The 14th Doctor's first devious plan is stopping two warring planets, by making them kill each other.
No one to stop me now.
That was ballsy, but why is he now smiling?
You'll be back.
His costume here is just great. The 4th Doctor's scarf, 13's coat, 7's jumper, 5's celery, 10's tie, and of course the recorder. Weirdly, it all works together. But did he have this prepared off to the side or something? While the Doctor's body may not be their own anymore, their mind has been sent to the Edge, a place kept safe by the Guardian.
Well, you're obviously one of the more determined of us.
The question is, what are we going to do about it? And you were doing so well.
You are not finished.
We are not finished.
We being
Vestiges of your consciousness. Fragments of yourself.
From the past.
The Guardian of the Edge, the keeper of the Doctor's next life, a robed amalgam of the Doctor's former selves.
I don't do robes.
There's always one. Has to be different.
I am a manifestation of our consciousness. I can wear what I like.
God, I love Paul McGann. It's a shame this is only his second televised appearance. Now Yaz is alone in a TARDIS she can only just control. Or is she?
If you're seeing this, I'm dead.
Remember in Parting of the Ways when I said something about the hologram Doctor? Well, even though the wiki doesn't outright say they're the same thing, I like to think that it wasn't really him turning towards Rose, it was the AI. Granted, it makes the Doctor out to be an arsehole, but he doesn't like goodbyes. Anyway, Yaz lands on the Cyberstar and picks up Vinda, then heads off to Unit HQ, where things aren't exactly rosy for the unit soldiers. Oh lord, there's also this.
I've seen off 2 husbands, and somewhere out there is an adopted son who hasn't called me for 6 weeks. And if that's not enough, I was an air hostess in the early 80s.
Tegan Nissa shippers, I'm sorry to say you have been proven wrong on screen, even if I also hoped it was true. I can't imagine what it was like to be an air hostess in the early 80s. Yikes. And to top it all off, there's this. What? You'd think that a fully locked down building would protect the windows too. Thank God Yaz was there to intercept.
Did you do that? Can you fly the TARDIS? Did she let you? I never got to fly the TARDIS.
Probably was a lot more complicated back in your day.
Ace, how would you feel about me dropping you under a Bolivian volcano so you can stop the Daleks from flooding the world with lava?
Wicked.
Well, at least she's got spirit.
As what, sir? Spirit? Yes, he did, sir. Hello. Spirits, bravado, a touch of daring do. Oh, about 11, sir. So...
Sorry, I just had to get that in there at one point. I swear that's like the 3rd Monty Python reference in this series.
Better?
I do wonder how long he was waiting there. You can still hear the missiles, so maybe only a few minutes? I don't know. Tegan heads down to the basement so she can blow the building sky high. Only issue is, the building is crawling with Cybermen and she has nobody to help her. Okay, I may have been wrong on one of those points.
You think you left and I never thought of you again. I never forget any of you. I remember everything.
Yeah? Well, what am I thinking seeing all these Cybermen?
Adric. Now, Braveheart.
It's nice that we get the characters speaking to each other again. Kind of. And a mention of Adric. Ace gets similar treatment.
I'm sorry we fell out. I'm sorry I judged you. I didn't understand the burden you carried.
All children leave home sooner or later. The joy is to watch them fly.
So, we're good.
Oh, we're more than good. We're ace.
I'm not crying, you are. She definitely got the best one. I think Ace and Tegan were definitely the best companions to have brought back for moments like this. Not just because their doctors are still alive, and they are themselves, but because they always felt like the most unresolved exits. Tegan just leaves. She has enough, doesn't want to see any more people dying, so just goes. No massive goodbye. Feels a bit like Dan. Wait, it's exactly like Dan. Ace, on the other hand, never actually got an official ending. Yes, there's the expanded stories, including Sophie Aldred's own book, At Childhood's End, but all of them are essentially retconned by contradiction. Ace's timeline is also established to be just too complicated, and also numerous. Hearing that she and the Doctor fell out is heartbreaking, as we'll probably never hear why. Yes, she apologises for judging him, but what for? It's not made clear enough. If you thought Ace needed a more physical presence to help her, well, now she does.
Oh, yeah, it's easy, love. Arnold Palmerson.
I completely forgot Graham ever got given a psychic paper.
Want to see how I dealt with him in 1963?
1963? How old are you?
Excuse me, a gentleman never asks that, and never on the first date. I'm Ace.
Yes, you are.
Kate Stewart, on the other hand, is thoroughly screwed, being forced to surrender for conversion, just in time for Tegan to slip her way down onto the basement.
Renegade human on the walls.
Good lord, they still can't aim. Now that the 14th Doctor is back in Siberia, the plan can continue.
Unleash the volcanoes.
Volcanic eruption shall commence. Disrupt pulse activation. Destabilizing tectonic plates.
Ecuador, Indonesia, Iceland. God, Chibnall loves a name card for locations. Luckily, Yaz has a plan to beat him, even if the TARDIS is just a painting in a blue box.
If they're much better than me, why didn't they spot her come in?
What's going on? Who are you?
I'm the Doctor, mate. Who the hell are you?
Introducing Joe Martin as the fugitive Doctor. A hologram version, yes, but still the Doctor. But what's stopping him from running away? I can see Yaz rugby tackling him, but I doubt it would keep him for long. These lot are going to regenerate anyway.
You heard her. Quickly.
If you're a friend of the Doctor's, you aren't going to use them.
Good thing Vinder isn't your traditional ally then. Using the regeneration energy from the Cyber Masters, they're able to reverse what the Master did.
I raised you, Doctor. Don't let me go back to me.
Is that a hint of Missy I can see in there?
Reunite.
Yes, with us home.
Good luck, Doctor.
And she's back. Our Doctor. The real Doctor. Just as Kate is about to be converted like her dear old father. Why did I remind myself of that? Tegan manages to defeat the Cybermen by removing a cable. Yeah, I'm not personally a fan of this resolution, but it does its job. At least Tegan and Kate make it out of the "How did they survive that?"
I don't need to sign the lease.
Don't worry. You've got Avengers Tower now. That just leaves the Dalek volcanoes, which Ace and Graham have half solved. The only issue now is the volcano bit.
Everybody okay?
No, I don't understand.
Feels like Journey's End. I mean, it is in a way. The Doctor fixes Vinder's ship in like 2 minutes, then sends him off. By jump-starting the Master's TARDIS with hers, she closes the wormhole and transports the Cyberstar through time, meaning now she can close the volcanoes with the Death Star beams. Now it's just for the last thing, to release the energy creature only after it's destroyed the planet first, though. I had a feeling we hadn't seen the last of him.
But if I can't be the Doctor, neither can you.
And so the Doctor is killed by some random alien's energy blast. It does give us this amazing shot, though.
Did we do it? We did it. Where is everyone? I took them home. Did you? That's clever. Well, Croydon.
Really? No final goodbye for Tegan and Ace? Or even Graham? I suppose they did kind of have that with the holograms, but it would have been nice with the physical Doctor. With only an hour max left to live, they have one final adventure together. ice cream and looking out onto the earth.
I don't want it to end. A wise person once said to me, goodbyes only hurt, because what came before was so special.
And just like that, the Doctor's time with Yaz is over. But that doesn't mean her story is, as there's one brand new development.
Didn't you get your invite? I'm Graham, and apparently I've got to be the first one to talk. So, see, I met this person, and I got whooshed away across all space and time.
So the companions now have a support group. Joe Grant, Mel, Tegan, Ace, Kate, a sort of companion. And best of all is Ian, with William Russell now a world record holder.
Do you say... her?
Hold on, how did Mel get here? The Doctor left her in the far future. There's also an empty seat that was originally meant for Annika Wills, but unfortunately she couldn't show up. And now everything has been put right. This Doctor has just one last goodbye.
Look after the next one.
And now she can regenerate.
Tag. You're it.
Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Wait, isn't that? No, it can't be. What?
What?
What? David Tennant is the 14th Doctor. Well, this is now my longest script so far, and I don't think that's just because I followed the story beat for beat. But it's also because, well, this is the last one. The final story so far, and as I'm writing this, the most recent. But things may have changed by this video's release, I simply don't know yet. I described this as Chibnall's masterpiece in my original reaction, and while part of that may have just been recency bias, in retrospect it wasn't entirely. This is by far Chibnall's best script. From start to finish my eyes were glued to the screen, only stopping periodically to write notes on the story. While I wouldn't say it's watertight, it is his masterpiece. There's just one last question though. Why was Yaz forced to leave? Well, apparently Chibbers thought Doctor Who would end with the centenary, so wanted to avoid an Ace situation with survival. That sounds like absolute bollocks. He just couldn't think of a reason that would keep fans happy and be a good send-off for the character. Other than that, I've made my issues clear with the story. As for the Whittaker era as a whole, oh boy. The first female Doctor already made this controversial, considering many people were very vocal about how they didn't like this decision, including Peter Davison. So already the odds are stacked against this era, meaning it really had to make an impression to prove that the Doctor being a woman didn't matter in the slightest, because it doesn't. But when you add consistently bad writing across 3 series to the mix, including one that didn't just aggravate the Not My Doctors, but 90% of the fan base with the addition of the Timeless Child, what a time to be alive that was. Jodie Whittaker to me is in Colin Baker's boat, an absolutely fantastic actor brought down by some of the worst writing Doctor Who has ever seen, considering both Doctors consistently bottom every DWM poll. There's also the case of the TARDIS, which I haven't touched on yet. I simply don't like it, and neither would the First Doctor. It is incredibly dark, and I can't really see a door where they could get to the other sections of the TARDIS, similar to Eccleston's in that way. I also don't like the central column. The whole beehive design isn't really doing it for me. And that's Doctor Who. 59 years in 29 days, and what a journey. But, hold on, there's 30 days in November, aren't there? 13 Doctors, 2 episodes each, that makes 26. Then add another 3 because of Trial of a Time Lord. What could be episode 30? Only one way to find out, I suppose. I'll see you tomorrow for the final episode.
And it is gonna be fantastic.